Good morning, Mail-In crew. From the West Coast to the East Coast, wherever you're listening to the Mail-In podcast, I'm your host, Brett Merriman. To my right, the lovely, the glowing Sally deFries. Good morning, Sally.
Good morning. Thanks for saying I'm glowing.
It's the most popular, I think, compliment when somebody is pregnant. And I don't know why it became that way. But you are glowing.
Actually glowing, or
You
are
are
you just making that up?
I think every Wednesday morning or Thursday morning when we're doing this, you come in and the skin is popping.
Thanks. My hair is not popping.
You normally say you do your hair a little bit. I think today you and I had the same idea.
This is ratty girl summer.
I threw the hat on today, which I don't normally do.
Yeah, we swam last night with Fritz, and it is washed, it's clean, but it's not in a cute, I'm not one of those girls who like can wear their hair in like a cute way where it's just like, oh, it's like
effortless beach waves.
Beach waves. It's just like gross, but I kind of don't care.
At this, it's just who are we trying to? It's Austin in mid-July. Like nobody's hair.
The only reason I care is if we make clips out of this. So I'm just gonna tell Adam to like put a filter on me or something. I don't know.
Just a lot of like imagery. Like popping up
right in front of my face. Yeah.
Exactly. I like the swimming tradition that you guys have on Wednesday nights.
Wednesday night swims, family swims.
I love it.
We pick up dinner. We decided to start picking up dinner because the first time we did it, we made smash burgers, which were a delight. But it didn't allow for ultimate hang time. It was like Drew was cooking and Will was helping, and Lily and I were having to watch the kids. And so we decided if we pick up dinner. Last night we picked up home sliced pizza. Then you can like enjoy each other's company without having to like.
Yeah, I
cook.
think totally fair. Totally fair. I Will said something about home slice that I completely agree with.
Which is what?
It is
underrated.
It may be the best slice in Austin, Texas.
I think we can talk Austin pizza for a second, then we can like move on. But home slice was like the original, like. Artisan pizza place in Austin.
Okay.
It wasn't like a.
You didn't think of it as a drunk pizza spot on South Congress,
right? And it wasn't like a Domino's. Okay, you're like going out of your way to go get home slice, but because of that, it got really popular, and then it was really difficult to get into. But because that was probably 15 years ago, because we've upped our pizza options and they've expanded their locations, it's a little bit easier to.
I think they get a bad rep for the South Congress location that's basically functioning as a takeout counter that just flings like slices.
Yeah.
People think, because you're a slice place, you can't be this like top-notch pizza place.
The South Congress location is half of it is dine-in.
Right.
Don't really realize how big it is, and then the other half is the takeout counter. But every time I pass there, it smells so good, and we finally just gave into it.
It is. I think. I mean, Via 313 is going to be my favorite slice. Like I'm going to savor every bite, but home slice, that's the best pizza. I mean, overall. Yeah. And it's crazy to say you have all these new, like the nice Bufalina Due and San Matero and all these pizza places that are renowned, but they're all nice and hoity-toity. Home slice. I agree with Will.
Yeah.
And I agree with you that this is the best podcast out there, Sally. You've said that before. If you want to help us out, please tell a friend about it. Send a show to somebody, send some clips to somebody. If they're like, oh, hey, this is a situation that you're in, you should tune in to these guys and either agree or disagree. But if you'd like to leave a voicemail, hit the hotline, 888-362-MAIL. That is 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast. Hit the store, washmedia.shop. Hit the youtube.com/Mail-In Podcast to see our faces in lovely 64K. Ready for Sally?
Yeah, are you reading or am I?
I'll go. Okay. Hey, Mail-In. I'm writing in about a situation that did not happen to me, but someone my wife knows. This person scored 5, count them 5, the Eras Tour tickets. That's Taylor Swift, I presume.
Yes.
5 Taylor Swift tickets back when they initially went on sale, and they took a full day of work off to get them. Wow. She invited 4 friends to go with her. Fast forward to the weeks leading up to the concert, and one of the friends still has not paid for her ticket, which was somewhere between $200 to $300, which obviously is a steal nowadays.
Correct.
This person eventually tells the ticket purchaser that they can no longer attend. The ticket purchaser decides to sell the ticket on the secondary market for about $1,400. Good for you. Upon learning this, the friend that could not attend the concert then requested this money from the ticket purchaser, claiming that, quote, it was their ticket, so they should get the money. Please keep in mind that they never even paid for the original ticket and aren't even owed a refund. Out of guilt, the ticket purchaser paid the friend the original ticket price that was $200 to $300, even though they'd never paid a dime to begin with. I couldn't wrap my head around this because it makes no sense to me. Personally, I would have told this person to fuck off, and they're not getting a dime. Anyway, thought this was egregious enough to write in and get your commentary. Thank you.
This is absurd.
This is egregious enough to write in, and I'm glad you did, because, excuse me?
Okay, so a couple things. Yeah, the Eras Tour, if you're getting a ticket for $200 to $300 and selling it on the secondary market for $1,400, likely the tickets are pretty good. Maybe not floor.
Okay.
Maybe floor, actually. But, I mean, good tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, as the friend who took the whole day off work, and I didn't take off work, but I was at work doing this, and so was my other friend.
Waiting in your the Ticketmaster queue.
Yeah, and then neither of us got tickets.
Oh.
First of all, that friend who did that already deserves a medal, because that was a cluster to deal with. Speaking from personal experience. Okay, number 2, the friend, honestly, the person who has the tickets, let's call her Sarah, okay? Sarah spent her whole day getting tickets, then invites friends, and could clearly make an insane profit on them, right?
Correct, yeah.
So she could just not invite friends. She could just sell all of them. But she is choosing to take her friends and giving them to them at face value. She could be a shittier person and even charge them $500 a piece if she wanted.
Sure could.
Okay. But she's being the nice person and a normal, just rational person. Offers them tickets. At this point, this is where the other friend, let's call her Rebecca. Rebecca, when she figured out she couldn't go, first of all, mistake number 1. You're having gone to the Eras Tour. It's amazing and a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I'm not trying to be a Taylor Swift stan here, but when you literally are one of only a few million people who get to go because of the ticket market, you should just suck it up and go. But here's the thing. Rebecca could have paid for the ticket and then been like, shit, I can't go. I'm going to sell it.
Sure.
And done that herself. And truthfully, had she done that, I would have still been pissed at her because it's really not her ticket to sell.
It's not her ticket to flip. Yeah.
Right. But she did buy
paid
it.
for it.
If she bought it, it's hers, technically. Yeah. Okay.
If it's been transferred.
None of that happened, though. Rebecca said, I can't go. Sarah's like, cool, I'll sell it. We'll miss you. And then Sarah makes $1,100, $1,100 to $1,200 worth of profit. Sarah sounds like she could be the Pope at this point and would probably use the $1,200 to pay her friends back.
Yeah. Hey, actually,
the other friends.
You guys want free tickets?
Yeah. But Sarah deserves that given what she went through, okay? With Ticketmaster. Fuck Ticketmaster. The fact that Rebecca, what a bitch of a friend, thinks that she's entitled to not only a ticket that she didn't pay for in the first place or do any work to get, that she had claim to but didn't pay for, wants the money.
Insane.
Is bonkers.
It screams like she's
completely entitled.
Completely yes. And just so desperate for cash, I guess.
Yeah.
Is like, are you down that bad where you how does that even compute in your brain? What part of her is like, oh yeah, that was mine, so I should get the profit for that? Why? Where do you like? You didn't even pay for it. I don't know.
If I'm
That's
original
crazy.
friend and other friends going on to the concert with Sarah, I'm like, you can fuck right off. And also, like, the fact that your brain even went there makes me question everything about you. We're done being friends.
I tend to agree. I'd be like, you're not invited. Really dramatic. You're not invited to things.
Like,
anymore.
You're not invited to things anymore. Sorry.
You're getting a few week friend suspension at the very least.
I can't believe the first girl, Sarah.
I can't believe she paid her, but she sounds like the nicest person in the world.
She sounds like a nice person.
She's
good job for her.
Yes.
She's got good karma coming her way, as Taylor Swift sings.
There, see, karma is it is a cat. Maybe she has a cat coming her way, Randy.
Like the audacity
of this bitch.
If I were her friends, I'd be like, no, you can, no.
Fuck right off. That's insane. Thank you for writing in because I just needed. I hope if you listen to this podcast, Rebecca, please reconsider everything.
If she would have paid for the ticket and then flipped it herself and kept the profits, that is allowed. Mm-hmm. Although it is also allowed for the original friend to be like,
hey, what the fuck, man?
What the fuck? And also like, I think it's more of a big deal then if she does that and the original friend's like, you want to throw me some bones since I'm the one who did all the work to get the tickets?
We can have a discussion there for sure.
But she didn't do any work besides mull it over a little bit and then decide she didn't want to go.
Yeah. Crazy.
Horrible person. Wow.
You know what?
Really heated about that.
I am too. You know what I don't get heated about though, Sally? And that's our friends over at Green Chef.
Only heating you're doing is in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. I have taken a liking to cooking, to getting my chef on. And that is literally because of Green Chef. They are giving you the tools to be your own boss in the kitchen.
Your own chef.
Yeah.
Yes, chef.
They give you the ingredients. They give you a bag of ingredients, and it is up to you. Like you have to cut and chop, sizzle, saute, everything. And that is why I love it so much. It's teaching you skills. It's teaching you what you like and what you don't like, perhaps. I'm now like a peppers, onions, tomatoes, cilantro guy basically I'm a salsa guy now, but Green Chef is the best. They're the #1 meal kit for eating clean with dinners that work for you, not the other way around. They have recipes that help manage your weight, support your wellness goals without skimping on flavor, can confirm, and feel your best with nutritionist approved recipes, including meals under 700 calories, protein-packed meals with 40 grams of protein on average per serving, and flavorful plant-rich vegan and vegetarian meals featuring certified organic produce, good for you grains, and plant-based proteins. Get everything you need at Green Market. So you have your one-stop shop, not only for meals, but you can get grab-and-go breakfasts, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, and more. And you can easily add on to your weekly order. Just out of curiosity, Sally, are you still rocking with, you got like, you're a big Mediterranean bowl person? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, we do a lot of like Mediterranean, pescatarian, veggie forward recipes.
How about some shrimp fra diavolo this week?
Wow.
Summer squash, roasted red peppers, onions, and basil pesto, and a shrimp fra diavolo? Kidding me? Blackened chicken cutlets and grits, French onion pork chops. It's all healthy too. It's the best. So here's the deal. Go to greenchef.com/mail50 and use code mail50 to get 50% off your order plus free shipping. Again, go to greenchef.com/mail50 and use code mail50 to get 50% off plus free shipping. Let's do the next one, Sal.
Hey guys, all of my friends and I are in our early 20s and in our first jobs out of college. I was lucky enough to get a remote job with unlimited PTO that pays a fair amount more than the other jobs in the group, and I'm super grateful to have it. Obviously, this gives me a little more financial freedom, and I'm wanting to do something with it. A small trip here or there. Nothing crazy, but most of my friends aren't able to swing it. Do I go solo? Try to plan a year out? Find myself getting bored and feel like I'm not reaping the benefits of my situation at a time when I have no real commitments? Do y'all have any advice?
Yeah, this is tough. there's a feeling of guilt here too. It's like I have a, you're set up with a good job,
Yeah.
unlimited PTO, you can work from anywhere, and you do well,
Yeah.
and you're like, you almost don't want to because you don't. There's something about if you travel solo, especially at this age, early 20s, right out of college, you want to be with friends,
Right.
and so we talk about traveling solo a lot or working solo, or
Yeah.
I love to work at a bar with the din around me or on a vacation spot. But early 20s, you're like, I want to be with the boys.
Yeah.
And so there's something that's sort of less grounding and less, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but about working solo or traveling solo. I encourage it to sort of find yourself and let yourself enjoy being with the company of one.
Yeah.
I think this is a great opportunity to do that. But I get in your early 20s when all you're accustomed to is hanging out with scores of humans that it doesn't have the same effect.
I agree. I think having been the friend who is it the opposite side where like I was broke and didn't have a great schedule and
Mhm.
didn't have the expendable money.
And unlimited PTO.
Yeah. I was always like jealous of my friends
Mhm.
and especially in your early 20s you spend a lot of that time that you do have off and a lot of your funds on traveling for people's weddings or bachelorette parties
Sure.
or all the stuff like going back to your college town for whatever big game. So the big trips that everyone's doing,
Mhm. Yeah.
and so you don't really have the funds to be like, "Oh, let's just, like, go to Turkey," you
So
know?
right.
Uh, I do think that especially if you're young, you don't really have anything tying you, like, home, you
Mhm.
have a lot of PTO, you have money at your, what
You don't have children, you don't
Right,
have,
exactly.
it
Then
doesn't sound
then
like he
do
is.
travel. I
Yeah.
think I think solo trips feel scary, but at the same time, I think by the time you realize you wanna take a solo trip when you're, like, 30, the time you benefit from the most is probably your early 20s when you
Yeah.
can, like, get to know yourself.
Totally. And when you're not a solo trip and you're not thinking about what's back at home, or the
Right.
work responsibilities are overwhelming, and the Sunday scaries kick in, and you're like, well, I was away from my family or relationships or commitments or job for a week, and now I'm behind.
Yeah.
Whereas it sounds like this guy can kind of come back from that and just be like, all right, we're hit the ground running again.
I think the other thing about planning trips with friends, and again, has continued well into my 30s.
Hmm.
We're trying to do this right now for 2024 and it's like a pain in the ass cuz getting everyone lined up of like, okay, who's available, who's willing to spend this much money,
Yeah.
that's always difficult to the point where you like legitimately just have to plan it and be like, if you want to join me, cool.
I know. That's what you have to do now. You have to almost there's almost like a deposit deadline. Like, hey, by July 19th, that's the set date. If something comes up after because it's like an emergency or somebody gets pregnant or like
Yeah.
that's different. But like we're going. We're locking in.
Well,
Venmos are out.
all of those circumstances change as you age. So like I said, in your 20s, it's like the people who are willing to throw down
Mhm.
maybe a year out are also going to have to like attend weddings.
Totally.
And the people who like in your 30s, it's like, okay, I'm willing to go, but like, oh shit, we don't have anybody to watch our kids or like whatever.
Yeah.
So I say solo travel now. I would, especially if you've never done it before and you're like a little apprehensive about it, start small.
I was gonna say you don't have to do Monaco for your first
Yeah, you
solo
don't need
trip.
to go African safari. Like,
Yeah.
go to San Diego
Yeah, that's a great
by
spot
yourself,
to
like
go solo work.
for like a half of a week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Wednesday to Sunday.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And maybe, if you are so remote, I think I'm trying to steer you into the direction of turning solo trips into just sort of work trips. So you're going to an Airbnb in Tallahassee
Yeah.
and working for a couple days, probably during the week, and doing that. So that's sort of a way to um, be responsible, and you're not going partying and by yourself all weekend, but you're doing work in a new place, getting comfortable with a new environment. And like at the end of the day with something like this, if you're doing well and you have the ability, like it doesn't hurt to just put some away too, and
you don't have to be
you don't have to
spending every
be you
dime you
don't
get.
you don't have to look at your bank account balance as like like a checkered flag. Like let's go. Let's
And
run
just
that
because you
down.
have unlimited PTO doesn't mean you have to. I mean,
Right, exactly.
you should absolutely take advantage of it, but you
Mhm.
don't need to like max out. You don't need to be gone 30% of the time just
Right.
to like prove that you can.
Yeah. Like you find yourself getting bored and you're not reaping your benefits. It's like, well, you also don't want to be on the other end of the spectrum where it's blowing through PTO days or sort of taking advantage of this unlimited PTO, and people start kind of like, oh, well, where's Brett this weekend? Oh, he's in San Diego, then he's in Denver, then he's in Seattle. Then
Right.
like there's optics there too.
Yeah.
But if you're remote, I would just start, every other week, maybe you work Monday through Thursday in a different location and taking advantage of a cheaper Airbnb with a weekday rate. I don't know. But it's a cool situation.
Yeah.
Very
Good
cool.
for you.
Wanna do the next one?
Yeah. Oh, I just read.
You just read. I'm up. Hey, Brett and Sally. I figured because y'all talk about weddings and tipping culture a lot that y'all would have an opinion on this. What do you think about tipping vendors at weddings, specifically as the bride and groom? I'm not talking a tip jar at the bar, but tipping the DJ, your photographers, catering staff, and so on. I'd never heard of tipping wedding vendors, especially because of how much vendors charge for weddings to begin with, until our wedding coordinator said that one of the tasks she handles is handing out gratuities at the end of the night. Sally, I was unfamiliar with this too.
I think this is common. I can't speak to this personally, obviously, but I have heard of this before. I know that this is a thing. If you're unsure about what to tip, I'm thinking specifically here of like people who are showing up day of and like doing a job, aka like the catering staff, the photographer, the DJ. You don't like. Do you need to like tip the person who made your invitations? Probably not. Like you paid them a fee for a service,
Right.
But you are tipping people who are in the service industry.
Yep.
That night, including your wedding coordinator, I actually think.
Oh yeah, I would think so, especially if they do a great job.
I remember when we started planning our wedding, that when we were doing the budget, it was like, okay, we're gonna not spend over, let's say, like 5,000 on catering or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, if you're spending 5,000, that's including the tip. So then we need to take out the tip.
Right. Yeah.
And you're spending like 4,200.
I was gonna say, do you think of that as 20% in your like mentally?
Right. So one person that you could ask is your wedding coordinator. Like, what's a normal? Hey, didn't realize that we need to do that. Feel dumb, but like, what's a normal amount for what's happening here?
Yeah, I mean, in sort of the snowballing wedding industry, if you can get a wedding band for 20 grand, right? Like, are you tipping them 4 grand at the end of the night on top of the 20 that you paid?
I don't know.
I don't like you buy, especially if you have their accommodations done, and like I don't. Is that crazy? Is that normal?
I truly don't know. I'm again, I'm the wrong person to ask. I know this exists.
Yeah,
but I also
makes
think
sense
that there are it's good to ask up front, and I don't think this is an inappropriate question to ask the wedding coordinator or the DJ or whatever. Be like, hey, is that including your tip?
That would be what I would ideally seek, is like when a restaurant gives me a tab and it's like gratuities included. I'm like, okay, cool.
Right.
20% like it's just okay. That mentally makes sense versus having one price, say it's 10 grand for something, and then mentally sort of calculating, well, there's another 2 on top of that.
Right.
For every little thing.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely gets expensive. And especially when you're already paying like astronomical prices, you're like, oh shit, now I have to like tip you.
Yeah. All of a sudden you have 10 grand in tips at the end of the night. It's like, well, that wasn't in the budget.
Yeah.
So
I think a good place to start. First of all, yes, this is a thing. And The people who are doing it are the people paying for the wedding, which in this case, it sounds like it's the bride and groom. I'm confused as to the way they. What do y'all think about tipping the vendors at weddings specifically as the bride and groom? I don't think anybody else is tipping the vendors except for maybe the bartenders.
I think it's like one of those things where are you as the bride and groom walking up with an envelope of cash, or are you leaving it to
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think that is normally the job of the wedding coordinator, unless you did it all by yourself, and then yes, you're the one who's handing them the money.
And is it are we talking are we bringing a duffel bag to the
duffel? I think a check is probably.
That's fair.
Okay.
I don't know the last time I wrote a check. It was probably for rent in New York City.
Well, probably if you're paying for a giant wedding, a check is
that makes more sense. Yeah.
Because you're not going to carry around.
Hey, hit me with that Venmo.
Cash like a drug dealer. So I would first of all, ask the wedding coordinator, hey, what's the norm? And then also, if you're still negotiating prices and stuff like that, I remember when we were calling bands, and they were okay, this includes an hour break for the band, and we do want meals for everyone, and blah, blah. And so if you're talking to them about that, be what is this include the tip too?
Yep. Just I think.
But I think this is a normal part of the United States service industry. So I think it's, and I obviously you've already paid for the service. You've had the wedding. You're not going to get blackballed, but people like the catering staff who are working are probably expecting a tip. So
totally.
That's at the end of their night, if you didn't pay them one, then that's kind of oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I do hate how, and I think this becomes popular in the restaurant industry these days, especially in the last 3 years, where I don't like restaurants passing off costs to the consumer. People are oh, I rely on tips to live. It's you get paid $9 an hour, and then tips are making up legit income. I'm why can't employees just be paid $20 an hour in the service industry? I don't I get that it costs more, but passing off costs to the consumer, I think, is just a shitty thing that restaurants do.
And we've talked about this before, how tips are getting out of control. Someone actually messaged me the other day and said that when they flipped the iPad around at them, the starting tip was 30%.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's great. It's dissuading me from tipping. Here's a buck on the bagel that you did not even cream cheese yourself.
Yeah.
That you flipped over. It was $4, and my options are 25% on a bagel with a little Philadelphia cream cheese canister and a plastic knife that now I'm going to tip myself.
It's getting out of control.
You know who doesn't ask for tips? Our friends over at AG1. All they're doing is giving you a perfect thing to start your day at a low price every month. 1 scoop of AG1 in a cup of water. Mix it up in the morning, or at night. I mean, you can really do it whatever, but I do it in the morning because I want a great routine, and AG1 helps me do it. They have a science-driven formulation of vitamins, probiotics, and whole food sourced nutrients in a powder that sits in your cupboard, sits on your counter, sits above your fridge, and just 1 scoop in the morning and a cup of water, mix it up down the hatch. They are raising the standard for quality in the supplement category by replacing all of those pills that you have to take every day that are expensive, that are annoying, that throw off your routine if you're out of one of them. AG1 puts them all in one powder, and you're good to go. Mention you're glowing, Sally. Any chance that AG1 is helping on that front?
Well, I am taking it throughout my pregnancy.
There you go.
Per my OBGYN, it was safe to take. So I'm getting all my prenatals in there.
Boom. Bada bang, bada boom. Better energy, improved digestion, support for mental clarity and focus, and skin, hair, nails.
Yeah.
What beats that? 1 scoop of powder, AG1, you're good to go. 75 high-quality vitamins, probiotics, and whole food-sourced ingredients like we mentioned. So here's the deal. If you're looking for a simpler, effective investment for your health, try AG1. and get 5 free AG1 travel packs, plus a free 1-year supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/mailin. That's drinkag1.com/mailin. Check it out. Let's do the next one, Sal.
All right. It's a long one.
Okay.
Hey, crew, need your help. I'm a 27-year-old female who met another girl 2-ish years ago, and we instantly became friends. Had so much in common, especially in the health and wellness space, which was fun for me because I don't have many friends like me when it comes to that. She had her first baby last year, and I was super, super excited for her. We had her husband, and her baby over for dinner one night, and I sent her home with some sourdough baked goods and lactation cookies. Was trying to be a good friend and support her in the postpartum phase the best way I knew how at the time. Well, fast forward a few months later, and she ghosted me. I don't know what I did wrong, but the point is, haven't talked to her in probably 9-ish months. Just decided to move on and let her not be my friend if she preferred it that way. Well, out of nowhere, I got a text from her asking a question about which brand of food I had previously recommended to her. So weird. And I replied, asked how she had been, and got no response. It kind of annoyed me because if we aren't friends, don't text me and ask my food recs. Now I'm thinking about how I gave her one of my nice Tupperware containers for her lactation cookies last year, and she never gave it back. And I want it now because I'm about to have my own baby and have lots of postpartum food prep to do. Do I have the right to text her and ask for my Tupperware back? It's been over a year since I gave it to her. Also, if this girl listens to the mail-in, drop off my bowl, please. Okay, I know
a lot going on here.
You put this in here because you want to talk about lactation cookies.
What are lactation cookies? Is this real?
This is the thing. Lactation cookies, and there's like a whole market for them. I remember eating them when I had Fritz. There's a lot of I don't know how much scientific evidence there is out there, but certain types of grains and things like that support your lactation. So people eat them to like help increase milk production, things like that. They also say hops do that. So you could do that with beer.
There you go.
But I ate lactation cookies.
Mm-hmm. Is it one of those things? It's like, what's the which is something helps with like stomach aches, and it's just like it's one of those natural things that has stood the test of time.
Honestly,
which is hazel.
I don't remember what is in them. A lot of grains and stuff like that. I ended up taking supplements that I felt like were the most helpful, and probably will take those same supplements.
I was going to say, is it like, has this just been like a way for people to eat cookies?
No, they're like, it's like grains and stuff like that.
So they're not like sugary tasting.
No, they're like
goodness.
It's kind of like energy balls, like those little like it's stuff like that.
Okay,
but you can make your own, obviously, and it's a nice gesture.
Yeah, like, thank you for my lactation cookies.
Here's a couple things I feel about.
Are we getting in fights over Tupperware?
No, it's been a year. You buy new Tupperware. I'm sorry, you got to take whatever loss that was, even if it was a $50 Tupperware, and just like roll with that and get some new Tupperware. Like I had a friend.
$50?
No,
are we rocking with $50?
I mean, sets probably.
Yeah, you probably get a set.
I think nice Tupperware can be expensive, but again, that's the cost of.
That's the cost of doing business in this age.
Correct.
I understand, like the friend ghosting thing, right? Sad. I don't know why this happened. It seemed like you did everything right. You gave her lactation cookies, obviously, but she has literally decided to ghost you, and whether that's maybe there's a postpartum thing going on, maybe there was maybe something happened that you, unbeknownst to you, or she's just busy with the baby. Like I hesitate to be like, hey, a new mom is not texting you back. She hates you. It's like, could be 95 other things.
Right. That's what my next point was. Well, first of all, okay. Number one, if you are having, if you have friends who are having babies, it is a really, really nice thing to do to like bring them dinner. One of my favorite things to do is just send them dinner. Like be like, hey, we're buying you dinner tonight. Where you want it? We're bringing it to your house. And we're dropping it off on the doorstep and like leaving you the fuck alone. Because we used to bring people dinner and like visit and like see the baby. Don't do that. No one wants you in their house when they have a newborn. They're like, please get away from me. I'm exhausted and I have milk all over me. And like, I just want to sleep. Unless they like specifically ask you to come in. But like, I know that we did that to Dave and Alyssa and they were probably like, oh my God, we just like want to like go to bed instead of eating barbecue with you.
Yeah,
like,
unless there's like bottles of wine actively being popped.
Yeah.
Like let's
but it is a super nice thing to do to like check up on your friends who have had babies, especially if they're the first one, because you really it's sort of like an alone time. But with the caveat of do not expect anything back from that person. It's a brand new time in their life. They're exhausted. They're overwhelmed. They're probably answering like a barrage of texts they've gotten and they're like prioritizing probably the ones that they're most concerned about, like texting their mom about whether or not like when the baby like sniffled, if like it's still going to live in 4 hours. So you don't be offended when someone who just had a baby isn't like texting you back immediately. Everyone handles it so differently. Number 2, if you bring them food, know that the Tupperware, like we said, is cost of doing business, and be prepared that unless you're going to be aggressive about getting it back, the onus falls on you. It's your responsibility. The person with the new kid is not going to like go out of their way to come drop Tupperware off at your house. You need to be the one to fall. And this is coming from someone who brought my friend enchiladas
in Tupperware
in my only casserole dish. And we just got it back last week because it was like the first time I'd like seen her and been to their house. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I've been meaning to get this back to you. I'm like, it's not your problem. It's mine. Like if I need it, I'll call you and be like, hey, I'm coming to get my casserole dish, whatever.
I'm on a mission.
Sorry. Goodbye, Tupperware. It's over. Number 3, I kind of feel like the friend ghosting thing, again, like you got to give the friend who just had a baby grace. It's been 9 months, obviously, she said, since she like texted her. When people have kids, you just don't know what is gonna go through their heads. And I think it's important when you are the friend whose friend had a baby to maintain it. It kind of falls on you to maintain the friendship for a little bit while they like get their bearings. Like I said, everyone's different, but it's up to you to be the one texting to be like, hey, everything going good? Hope you're doing well. Like, let me know if you want to hang out. And then like reaching out 3 months in and be like, let's go to lunch, whatever. Just because they are so busy, especially first-time moms. And again, some people are better than others. I was horrible about this, but I had a ton of friends who already had kids who were like, cool, we'll see you in 6 months. Like, bye.
Like we don't worry about texting first. Like it's just
right.
It's just hey, be there, be present, be the one texting.
Right. But I think from this point of view, if she ghosted you and like maybe there's another reason, I don't know. Just don't put stock in this. It's not like you happen to be like newer friends. If this was like your oldest friend, I would be offended and be like, okay, we need to get to the bottom of this. What did I do wrong? We've been friends since we were 4.
Yeah.
Having a baby shouldn't change that. I should be like an aunt to your kid. What's going on? But this is like kind of new friend that you didn't have a lot of connection to besides like y'all had some stuff in common, but it's not like she is friends with a lot of your friends and like has a reason to like be upset with you. You might have just moved on from each other's lives. It's not worth holding all of that resentment in. Like you've got your own thing going on with your kid. You don't need the drama of someone else. She asked you a question, answer it gracefully, move on with your life, get new Tupperware.
If she asks you another food recommendation out of nowhere, do you same thing? Just
give her an answer.
Here's an answer,
hey,
and then
hope you're doing well. Guess what? I'm having a baby too.
Yeah, and then
you didn't know that because we haven't talked. Yeah, I mean you don't have to say it like that, but like
if you want to bring me lactation cookies in my Tupperware, that'd be great.
But like honestly, with friends like that, and all of us are gonna have friends like that kind of float into your life kind of unexpectedly, and then float out of your life unexpectedly. It's just they're there. Enjoy them while you had them. They're gone. You don't have to be best friends with every single person who passes through your life.
I agree. Enjoy the butterfly when it's on your porch.
Yeah.
How about that metaphor?
Tupperware. Sorry.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Tupperware.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Getting tired of the party scene. Been out of school for a couple of years, but the friend group still parties like college. Several are close friends from college, including my roommate. Partying 3 and 4 nights a week has gotten old. I enjoy going out, but want to take this down several notches, say a few times per month, so I can save money and focus on other things like career, travel, and fitness. Plus, want to lose the constant hangovers. I'm thinking about just moving to another city, but is there a less drastic way to make a big change without killing my social life? When I say partying, what based on this question, I think of this guy is staying out till 2 or 3 in the morning, 3 or 4 nights a week, drugs involved, like hardcore going out. Not going out till 9:30, having 3 high lifes, and then calling it a night.
But whatever your definition of partying is, if you're over it, you're over it.
Right. If you're over it, that's a great point.
If you don't want to do coke and ketamine anymore, or you don't want to have 3 high lives, you don't no one's forcing you to do any of it. You have your own free will.
Nor if Randy didn't want to do 8 sugary cocktails anymore. He wants to bump it down to 4.
I think everyone goes through this phase. Some people hit it before others do. Some people are forced into it because maybe they go to grad school or they get in a relationship and then they automatically calm down, or vice versa. Some people get in a relationship, it causes them to party more because they're have a new whole group of friends.
Yeah.
I think I was probably in the middle to early adopters of I don't want to go out.
It back.
Yeah, anymore. Actually, I was probably middle because I was single for longer, so I went out a lot more than some of my friends in relationships.
You would pregame to fix you, famously.
In college. I don't think you need to do something as drastic as moving to a different city unless you legitimately have a reason to move to a different city. And getting a new group of friends can be that reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's also just possible, and I say this with love, being 30. It doesn't feel like this in your early 20s, but it is possible to do things that your friends don't do and remain friends with them.
Yeah, it is possible to say no to hey, I'm guys, I'm gonna play video games tonight. You guys have fun.
I think much of college in your early 20s is
how many things can you say yes to?
Yes. Being a yes man, being peer pressured out of FOMO, being part of every single thing, going to every wedding, being a part of every beer league, whatever, softball team. Literally saying yes to every single thing you can. Whereas in your 30s, you're someone put me on a softball team. I gotta have friends again,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong. It's not, if it kills your social life because your friends are
you're taking a night off, then they're not your friends, right?
I don't think you have to be a jerk about it, but I think you can be hey, I'm trying to get healthy. I'm going to stop going out on weekdays.
There you go.
I'm all yours Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
We had friends who went through that, and it feels weird when the first person does it because you're oh, wow, okay. But then other people are probably relieved because they're thank God.
Yeah.
Why were we doing coke on a Tuesday?
Yeah, there's probably 1 or 2 buddies that are the driving force that probably should move to another city.
Yeah.
But they're kind of roping in a group of 8 or 9 that are just
being dragged along and somebody don't want to be doing it.
It's 3 a.m. on a Wednesday night at Barbarella and you're dancing to Blink-182 with Randy.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just kidding.
I think it's especially with your close friends being hey, I'm gonna take a step back for finances, for my own health, and I'm gonna stick to Thursdays and Saturdays only.
Yeah. Anybody want to go hit go hit a happy hour, have 2 glasses of wine, and then go home? Anybody? Yeah. Anybody sound good? Perfect.
And just be firm. Just be hey, I can't meet you out tonight at 10, but if you want to go tomorrow at 5 p.m. when you get off work and have a beer, cool, I'm your guy.
Maybe cut out pre-games at people's apartments. See if that does anything.
But I think being the person who starts the change is never a bad thing. Then you're just the innovator who like stopped drinking Cuba Libres and like decided that you wanted to drink like a freaking spritz at like 6 p.m. and then go home.
Sounds specific.
I'm just saying, you know.
I totally agree with you. Be the change you wish to see on 6th Street.
Yeah.
Or the world.
At least you are getting to change your habits based on your own like free will, and you're not like having to go to rehab and change your habits. You don't want to be that person.
Change your habits before it's physically necessary to change your habits.
Yeah. Or because you knock someone up and now y'all have to have a baby together, or because you or because you don't get used to it, and then you go to grad school and you're like, oh my God, I've been partying 4 nights a week and now I like don't get to do any of it. Just do what you want to do.
Throttle down instead of slamming the brakes.
Yeah.
Start there and then see how you feel. I don't think you need to move to another city though, unless you really think you have.
Unless you want to move to another city.
Yeah, right. Like if you're asking this question as a way to be like, hey, should I do it? Then fucking do it.
Yeah.
If you want to, do it. But don't use your buddy Jim partying 3 nights a week on blow, 3 weeknights a week till 3 a.m. Like, don't blame him. Just do it because you want to do it.
Right.
If you do end up, continuing on with that lifestyle.
Or if you just decide you want to get healthy too.
Or get hydrated. Liquid IV is the best. They are the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, and they are now available in sugar-free, Sally. That is huge.
I'm very into the sugar-frees.
Yeah?
Okay. One of my biggest complaints about trying to be healthy in general, and this is coming from a pregnancy standpoint, is like trying to cut back on my sugar.
Yes.
Because I feel like and part of being hydrated and getting electrolytes, it's like natural to have sugars. Mm-hmm. But having the sugar-free makes me feel a lot less guilty about like, okay, I'm not about to like guzzle like
multiple
Coke's worth of sugar.
Absolutely agree. Get the electrolytes without the guilt of sugar.
And they taste just as good,
mm-hmm.
which is surprising.
3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness. Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone. You can also keep your daily routine of Liquid IV exciting with 3 new flavors. Ready for these? White peach, green grape, and lemon lime.
And these are the sugar-free ones.
Yes.
Yeah, they're a delight. I've had all of them.
You're a big Concord grape one.
I'm a big Concord grape. So full disclosure, Will and I both receive a lot of Liquid IV.
They are extremely generous with their sponsorship.
More so than 2 people can go through in a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been sharing with my hospital homies, okay? Which they all appreciate because
hospital homies.
Yeah, we get dehydrated because we also noted cannot be drinking water throughout the day like we should.
No.
You get like a couple minutes to chug some water and then you have to go back into the OR for hours, which is why I love a Liquid IV because I triple my hydration, hydration multiplier. I'm not going to lie to you. I hoard the sugar-free new flavors to myself. Did not share them with anybody else.
If Sally's hospital homies are listening to this, you're on notice.
I mean, but the thing is, I don't feel that guilty because I gave them hella good flavors. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I even gave away a bag of Concord grape that I love. So I'm not going to feel bad about hoarding the sugar-free ones because I still provided them with the delightful tangerine with the immune booster. I gave them the matcha with the energy booster. I gave them the Concord grape. I gave them the green apple. I gave them the strawberry lemonade. I'm a freaking Liquid IV fairy over here.
You are.
I'm not going to feel bad for keeping 1 bag of white peach to myself for my hydration needs in this 104-degree heat.
Go off, Queen.
Thank you.
They've made something for every day or every part of the day, which I think is why I've become so enthralled with them. In the morning, as a sort of maybe a recovery kind of thing, some recovery hydration, whether that's from a workout or perhaps a long night before. They made something for the midday. Maybe you're feeling a little run down and you need to up your immune system in flu season with some immune boosting liquid IV. Maybe in the afternoon when you're feeling a little groggy, need a boost, you don't want to reach for the coffee. How about the matcha energy booster?
Yeah.
Capiche? And then maybe you get an afternoon or late night workout in. Boom, liquid IV after your workout to replenish the electrolytes you lost. They got something for every part of the day. Real people, real flavor, real hydrating, now sugar-free. Grab your liquid IV, hydration multiplier sugar-free in bulk nationwide at Costco. Or get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MAILIN at checkout. That is 20% off anything you order when you use promo code MAILIN at liquidiv.com. Sally, before we bounce, let's get some shower thoughts out of the way. Do you have any shower thoughts on this lovely Thursday morning?
I am going to the Blink-182 concert tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going to fall in love with the girl at the rock show?
No, but I don't know what to wear while pregnant. I could do the copy Courtney's entire aesthetic of her saying, "Travis, I'm pregnant," and on a poster.
Okay.
I think she was wearing a bodysuit and some jean shorts, but I just am gonna look like a frumpy girl instead of the girl at the rock show. I'm kind of depressed about it.
Why don't you just go full tummy out and just
I could
crop top and jean shorts and just let's rock.
Yeah. Get some heavy eyeliner.
Yeah, and just really lean into it. Just hey, we're rocking.
We were gonna go to the Kid Rock show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Famously couldn't because we were attending Klein's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Let those tickets go to waste, unfortunately. And I had a whole ensemble for that because I was just gonna embrace white trash pregnant.
That would have been good. You can embrace scene girl pregnant.
Yeah, punk rock pregnant is not a thing.
Skinny jeans with the top button, the flies kind of unbuttoned. You know what I mean? That's...
I don't know. I'm gonna have to research. That's my current shower thought. It's I don't know what I'm gonna wear to this concert tomorrow.
Okay, I'm so jealous.
I'm quite excited.
Ugh, Blink is somebody that
Will has looked at the set list, so he knows when he can pee, and we have very opposite
pee songs.
We have very opposite. I want to be there at the songs he doesn't want to be at because I think he was into Blink a few years before I was.
Okay.
Which makes sense given our age difference, but there's songs he knows from their first album that I don't even know because I got into it probably the commercial phase of
I'm looking at their set list from last night.
Oh, okay. So it'll be interesting.
Man.
I know. I'm excited.
There's a little lull between 10 to 14 where they go Dumpweed, Edging, Aliens Exist, which you don't want to miss that one. Cynical, Happy Holidays, You Bastard. But then it goes into Stay Together for the Kids, Always Down, Bored to Death, I Miss You, Adam song.
Yeah.
Have to be there.
I feel Will thinks he could leave during I Miss You. I don't know if he has said that out loud, but you got to stay for I Miss You. We used to play Power Hour a lot in college, and each of them had a theme, and we had one that was just called Punk Rock Power Hour.
That's a great one.
It was a lot of Blink-182 and Avril Lavigne and Yellowcard.
Yep. That was back in...
We also had one called Power Ballads Power Hour, which was a lot of Celine Dion and Whitney Houston just belting lyrics.
That's the type of songs I would put on at karaoke at Village not karaoke, the touch tunes at Village Tavern on the lower east. No, that's east side, West Village. I don't even know what neighborhood that technically is.
Those are opposite.
I know. That's why I was I got tripped up. It's on Bleecker or off of Bleecker. And you would start with some just really Third Eye Blind type of everybody knows songs, and then you would get Celine Dion and Scenes from an Italian Restaurant.
Yeah.
Bar bumping. They ended last night in Dallas. What's My Age Again? First Date, All the Small Things, Damn It. With a snippet of We Are Never Getting Back Together and Deep in the Heart of Texas.
Wow.
That is an all-time song, ending to a concert. Golly. If I wasn't flying to Montana tomorrow with Rachel and her family, I would be in attendance.
Yeah.
Sad.
What's your shower thought?
My shower thought is we have a new social network to play with. You familiar with Threads, Sally?
I am on it.
I am on it as well.
User 2622441.
You didn't take your username?
No, I did. But if you go to your Instagram, it shows your little Threads badge. So if somebody can click on it, it shows what number user you are.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where?
Hold on. Right under your profile.
Like name. if I'm here.
It doesn't have your little Threads thing?
I guess not.
Oh, it has it on mine. I don't know how. I don't know how to. You can hide it. You might have hit it. But like you can see it on like Will's, like Sunday Scaries.
Okay.
Is user. He's in the first million adopters. Actually, not the first million. The second.
I'm not even seeing it. Okay. Well, I'll look into that. Yeah, I don't have that. That's cool.
I think it's to like kind of amp it up to other people, and then it'll get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm volume shooting on Threads. I'll tell you why I like it. Sorry, go ahead. You had a
I got it mostly so I can see other people's stuff. I'm probably not going to post from it. I haven't posted from Twitter in like forever.
I think the idea of Threads is fun because for me, my Twitter group is very different than my Instagram group.
Yeah.
The Instagram is almost it's still closer to more friends, and Twitter is like the internet strangers that I've become friends with. Instagram is my friends that I rely on that because they're not on Twitter. Like I have very few friends.
My issue with Threads currently is that, and this is just me playing around with it last night. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing a lot of content I did not sign up for.
Right, and that's the biggest problem. What I figured out is you see all threads
that any person that you follow is
any person that you follow. The people that they follow,
right?
Their threads populate your timeline. So the timeline's a shit show.
So you almost have to curate the people you're following a little bit.
Correct. Oh yeah, absolutely.
More intensely.
You have like the fact that they don't have a chronological just follow feed is such a that's a miss. That's going to actively push people away.
I follow more brands on Instagram than I do on Twitter. Mm-hmm. For a reason, because like I don't care about what brands are tweeting, but like I do care about what brands are posting, especially if they're posting like new like products and things like that. But I do not want to listen to them thread. What are we calling it when you like put out instead of a tweet?
It's a thread.
Okay.
But like the thread would imply that there's more than one.
Right.
And there's not usually. So
like,
it's just,
for example, this is who's currently screwing me over.
Okay.
I follow Stasher Bag. Do you know what a Stasher Bag is?
I don't.
They're like these silicone bags that are like reusable, sustainable sandwich bags is what they started as.
Nice.
But now they have them in a bunch of different sizes. I don't know why I follow them on Instagram.
No, I follow like landscape architecture and like, lawn care.
It's like
stuff.
kind of like a dumb follow, but I do like use a lot of their stuff, especially trying to be a sustainability queen. They were on Shark Tank. Mark Cuban famously invested in them.
Of course.
Anyway, I think most of the shit that I saw on Threads yesterday was all of their like them replying to people, people they follow. I'm like, oh my God, I don't care.
Yeah, I totally. The feed's a disaster.
They gotta figure that out.
Make it chronological and make it just people you follow. And if you want to have like a For You tab kind of thing, that's other content, because I get the cold start problem, right? They don't want you to log on, sign up, and not have any content.
Somebody I follow comment on something, on a thread.
Yep, that's fair.
And then I find people they're following, but I don't need just random threads of people that I follow who they follow. Like that's too many.
Absolutely.
That's too many degrees of separation.
Totally agree. You can't. There's no search function, so if you go search, like you can search Twitter for threads that contain, or the tweets that contain the word chicken wings.
Yeah.
You can't do that on Threads right now. You can only search for accounts. So there's no search function. There's no DMs. Like
we'll get there.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll get there. I think you probably roll it out. I don't know. They probably were like, just fucking do it. Take advantage of Elon turning Twitter into his own.
Do I feel good about dumping all of my stuff into the Meta universe?
No, there's a data issue for sure. But like, you can have. I am like you have all my data already. I carry around an iPhone.
It's not about the data for me. It's like, do I want to support
Meta?
Yeah.
No, like it's just they run the world, evil. And it's like having an iPhone. I don't know.
Like, do you think I've resigned. Zuck is a better option than Elon? Like,
I think he's a better option than Elon.
I think he's a better option, but is he a better person? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
I'll decide when they have a cage fight.
Yeah, I think it's done that they try. They are so convinced that algorithmic serving of content to you is the best instead of just people that you follow. Like I get on YouTube, it makes sense because you want you want to go down different rabbit holes, but you just with platforms like Twitter and Instagram or Threads, I don't want that. I just want to see what people are posting. And like Facebook still doesn't have you have to search around to find the feed that's just your people chronologically. Doesn't make sense. But
let's wrap it up because the baby's kicking me in the bladder.
Nice. That's fun.
I have to pee.
We will wrap it up. Subscribe, rate, 5 stars, review, tell a friend about the show. Hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL. That is 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail In Podcast. Sally, where can the people find you?
Sally deFries on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads.
Wow.
There's a question we skipped that we'll get to in a couple weeks.
Skincare. Oh, yeah. No episode next week.
I'll
be in Montana. Sally's working. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, bye.